What's going on, YouTube? This is Jim, back with another video. Today, we're going to talk about backward compatibility, streaming, and all this new rigmarole that's going around with these subscription-based on both Xbox and on Sony's side of the house. I'm reminded of my favorite NeoGAF post. It's called Xbox One Backward Compatibility. Everybody wants it, nobody uses it. And it's interesting to me because both Sony and Microsoft have taken very different approaches to what backward compatibility is. Now, up until now, Xbox, with the huge announcements last year during E3 that they were going to take all Xbox 360 games and slowly begin to port them over to be playable on Xbox One, made a lot of people happy. I think a lot of people thought that was really cool. I'm going to get to go back and clear my backlog, all this great stuff. However, as new games continue to come out, a lot of people aren't going back and playing the old Xbox 360 games. A lot of people aren't even downloading them or even checking them out. I am definitely one of those people. My backlog is so damn high right now. I don't have time for old games that I may or may not have played 5-10 years ago. That's how Microsoft handled the problem. Sony handled the problem with their PlayStation Now streaming service. They bet on the fact that you would want to take your mobile device and stream it anywhere, any game anywhere. The processing would be done on Sony's side of the house, and all you would do is need a smartphone and a controller, and you were able to go and play anywhere. That didn't really pan out either because the people who were really into going back and playing those old catalog games weren't really thrilled with the reduced graphic quality and weren't really enthused with some of the latency that occurred during some of those streaming sessions. And both Xbox One and PlayStation have sunk mega bucks into this, okay? This problem. You know, with the Microsoft developing, with Sony buying this Gaikai and merging it out. Now Sony said they're going to start bringing PS4 games into the fold. Microsoft has announced that they're going to start a subscription-based service for you to download old games and be able to pay monthly to get it that way. Both of these services are really cool in concept, but I don't think a lot of people are using them. I don't hear a lot of buzz about it. I don't hear people saying, oh my God, I am so happy that Game X is finally available on backward compatibility. I really wanted to go back and play this. I don't see people talking about that. And as much as it is important to remember our roots, and as much of a proponent I am as of retro gaming and the Raspberry Retro Pi project my friend Ben and I put together, retro games belong in the past. Obviously, that's what the word means, doesn't it? But people are focusing, I think, too much on the old stuff and not really taking a look at the new stuff. And I feel like that is something that both Sony and Microsoft are trying to conjure up some nostalgia on these old games in a way that only Nintendo and Sega really have that grasp on people, if that makes sense. You know, we grew up playing Sega. We grew up playing Nintendo. To go back and say, oh my God, RC Pro-Am, I loved this game when I was 7 years old, I need to get that and play it, is a lot different than somebody saying, you know, I never checked out the original Mass Effect. It's probably time I go back and do that. There's not that same level of nostalgia there. And I feel like the more money Microsoft and the more money Sony plop into this technology, the more of a losing venture it's going to be. I don't see them recouping money on this at all. I feel like they're trying to one-up each other in a service that nobody wants, which goes back to that NeoGAF post. Everybody wants it, nobody uses it. It sounds great in theory, but with all the amazing games that are out today, and with what's going to be coming in E3 in just a few short months, nobody's looking back to the old stuff. They're only looking to the future. Maybe this is a controversial opinion. Maybe I'm the 1% of people who feel this way and everybody else is playing backward compatibility but me. But I don't think so. I have not really seen a lot of hype on it. I've not seen people constantly like chomping at the bit for some of these old games. It just doesn't really seem to me that it's going to go anywhere. And I think the sooner that Sony and Microsoft scrap this system and move on to developing first-party titles for today, I think the better off everybody's going to be. But who am I, right? We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there, play some retro games, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.